people as they pop in.
Yep. Okay. Good evening, everyone. If you can hear me, this is Lynn Edwards. I'm the co-president of the Community Council. Normally, Sonia would be running the show tonight, but she's away, so I'll be wearing a couple of different hats tonight. If you are not speaking, could I ask you to mute? We're picking up a little bit of background stuff back here, so just turn your audio on when you're going to speak. Remember to raise your hand if you have a question or want to make a comment. And let's get started. As always, you can find meeting minutes and a link to the video from the last meeting on our website. That's at rolandopark.org. And Cheryl, our treasurer, is going to give some information about dues and membership renewals right now. Cheryl?
Okay. Currently, we have 10 members with $120 in dues, $52.76 in donations for a total of $172.76. That makes 9 renewals and 1 new member. So if you haven't renewed your membership, please do so. You could do it on our website, or you can send us a check, and that address is also on the website.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And PayPal always works. Thanks. And cash. We'll always take cash. Thank you, Cheryl. Okay. I do have some updates that I want to share. So I'm going to share my screen. Be patient with me because I usually muck this up just a little bit. Okay. So I have a quick update. At our last meeting, we talked about part of our priority for last year was to get more trees in the community. And last month, we shared this information that Kara, myself, and John Hogan from Redwood Village, we met with Bob Scott from Rolando and Naveed Harris from the District 9 office. And we ended up submitting a proposal through our planning group to District 9 to try and add trees to University Avenue. And that would be from 54th to Aragon. And so we looked, and City Council President has updated his budget memo for the next year, budget priorities. And trees on University are now a budget priority for 2024. Martha Zapata, our community rep, is going to be our point of contact. So we'll be meeting with Martha pretty soon and see if how we're going to get this kicked off this year. Fingers crossed. Okay. This is an upcoming project, and I'm giving everybody a little bit of an advance notice. This is going to start at the end of the summer because this project is going to impact traffic on University from College to Aragon and on the south side of University, because they're going to be replacing all of the water mains in that area in preparation for the University Bike Project, which will start at the end of this. So we'll have a little bit more information next month. City Engineering is going to be coming to the planning group meeting to present on this project, and we'll bring the information back here. But I'm trying to get you a little geared up for the fact that construction on universities, once this starts, is going to be ongoing for a couple of years. They'll be digging this up, both sides, and then once this finishes, the bikeway project is supposed to start, and that's about a 2-year project. Anyway, that's news. And this is actually, if you can see this is where it starts from Aragon. It goes all the way down to College, and most of it will take place on our side of the street because they'll be trenching for new pipes, but they have to vacate all the pipes that are on the north side of University. So you can expect a lot of traffic delays, I'm afraid. Okay. And there are other capital improvement projects coming like this. They're going to start shortly after this project does, starting in September. There are 3 water and sewer pipe replacements projects coming up between September and January of 2024. They're not on College, not on University, but they are on the inside of both Redwood Village and Rolando Park. And those will have about the same kind of timeline. They'll be anywhere from 6 to 9 months. So get used to trying to find a detour, folks. It's going to be interesting. Next, we have another University Avenue cleanup coming next Saturday, February 25th. We're going to meet at Party House. Bring your own equipment if you have it. We have coffee, donuts, and liability waivers, one of the most important features of any cleanup. We had a really nice cleanup in December, and we'll be talking about that more tonight because that was on our list of priorities for this year, to see more cleanups in the community. So we're going to be talking about how we get there on that. Okay. And just a few upcoming events. Next month, we'll have our annual plant exchange. That'll be here at the park, Joint Use Park. In April, we're doing a Xena Canyon cleanup with I Love a Clean San Diego. June, we're going to do our annual ice cream social here in the park. Last year, we hosted our first movie in the park in our new Joint Use Park. We're going to do that again this summer. Kara West is going to promote and organize the annual community yard sale in August. And then to close out the year, we'll have our holiday social in December. That's just a little bit, but trying to spread it out. Sure.
What time is Xena Canyon?
I think it runs from 8 to 12. I'll have more information, and we'll get the link posted so people can sign up in advance. Okay. And that's it for updates. And so we're moving right into some public comments. If anyone has any comment on a non-agenda item, raise your hand if you're here or on screen. Speak now. We encourage free speech here. What? Nothing? Okay. No complaints? Well, that part's good. Okay. So we'll move on then. We have community reports. And first up is Sam Gonzalez from Assembly Member Dr. Akila Weber's office. Sam, this is your first visit. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, my name is Sam Gonzalez. I'm a new field rep here for Dr. Akila Weber. I'm excited to be here and happy to learn more about the community and how it can help.
Did you have any announcements or anything, Sam?
No, I don't. This is my first meeting, as you pointed out. So I just wanted to introduce myself. And if you guys have any questions or want to expect the report from me, or give me ideas as to what I can report on, let me know. I'm pretty flexible and willing to learn and adjust to the needs of the community, but nothing to report as of right now.
Okay. Always interested in what kind of legislation Dr. Weber's working on that directly impacts our area of San Diego. So if anything pops up, be sure and let us know. Okay. Thank you. Ms. Tony Duran from State Senator President Pro Tem Tony Atkins' office. Hi, Tony. Nice to see you.
I was going to say, good to hear you. I don't get to see you yet. All right, quick updates. In December, new and returning senators were sworn in, and Senator Atkins was elected once again by her colleagues to serve as Senate President Pro Tem. Senator Atkins and other legislators are currently working on their bill packages that are being slowly introduced. And as you may know, it's tax season. Good news is the IRS did decide that the middle class tax refund will not be considered taxable income. There was a question there that the state has been asking the IRS for about a year now. So I'm glad that they came out and finally decided they are not going to tax that. With tax season coming up as well, a lot of folks forget about the Earned Income Tax Credit. That's the EITC. It is a program that many lower income Californians are eligible for. If you file, they can include credits to reduce taxes owed or increase tax refunds. In the chat, I'll put links so you can check that out, see if you qualify. And then last year's budget increased funding for programs like the Middle Class Scholarship that helps hardworking Californians afford higher education. The deadline to apply for many programs like this for state and federal aid is March 2nd. So there's still some time to apply. If you're going back to school, if you've got folks you know going back to school or starting out, that has a link as well that I'll put in the comment section. And just so you know, we did move back in October. Gosh, I can't believe we've been here that long. But our address and our phone number changed. So if you've been trying to contact me via phone and you weren't able to, it's because that phone number doesn't work anymore. So I will put our contact phone number in case you have any questions. As always, you can contact me if you have any state related questions or issues, or if you're just not sure, you can still contact me and we'll get you connected to the right agency. And that's all I have for you tonight.
Thanks very much, Tony. Nice to see you.
I keep wanting to say you too, but I just.
Yeah, I know. Well, feel free to pop in. We've got a
I
lively
know.
group tonight.
I saw that you were that you have some folks meeting in person. I couldn't get out there tonight, but I can't wait until I can be in a room with you all together.
Thank you. Officer Terry Hoskins, you are up, sir.
Well, hello, everyone. I apologize for being a few minutes late. I had some Zoom issues, but we had it worked out. I was going to try to be in person, and then I got caught up in some other things in a division. So for those who don't know, I'm going to go ahead and put it out there that I'm going to be a new resident in Rolando Park. So hopefully everything will work itself out. And sorry, George, you almost got neighbors like me. Sorry about that. So
We miss you around here.
you say that now, wait till I move to Rolando Park, you'd be tired of me.
Okay.
But I wanted to go ahead and get that out there because it will happen. Hopefully my escrow will close this month, and then March or something like that. Oh, April I'll move. So I'm going to talk about first Redwood Village, and then I'll talk about Rolando Park, only because as beat numbers, that's how they pop up. So in 2022, for January, there were 133 radio calls in Redwood Village. This year, there was 131 for the month of January. Rolando Park at 120 radio calls for service in December and January of 22. And in this year, you had 115. I did send, Len, I'm sure you didn't get a chance to put anything up or anything, but everyone, Redwood Village, you had 9 reports for cases this past 30 days as of yesterday, previous 30 days. 3 of them were vehicle burglaries. 3 of them was larceny. 2 of those was in a vehicle. And then you had 2 vandalism. 1 was for a window of a car. And then 1 was a tent, of all things. And then you had for arrest. Oh, there you are. You did find it. Thank you.
No, somebody did it.
Oh, who was that?
Jennifer, it looks like. Thank you,
Oh, okay.
Jennifer.
Yeah, so if you got any questions about the crime mapping, please get with me. And then for your arrest and citations, you had 12 citations. Oh, go back down. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Slow your roll. There you go. So you had 12 citations for the month of the previous 30 days. All of those, 8 of them were for failure to stop at a stop sign. And then you had 3 for text messaging, and 1 didn't have a license. I don't know why he was pulled over, but they cited him for not having a license. He had 5 arrests. By the way, most of where it says the 9 and the 2, that's where the 9 was where you had all of the citations. So traffic must have posted up at that intersection there. And then for arrest, you had 1 drunk. You had a drunk and disorderly. You had Nope, go back. We're still on Redwood Village. There you go. Thank you. One was a violation of a court order. You had 2 stolen vehicle recoveries. They were down where the 2 is on the very west end of Streamview, right there. Basically, they were in front of that. I'm sure it's still a gambling house at 5517, but that's where they got those 2 arrests and the 2 stolen vehicles from there. I had a long talk with a parking supervisor this last weekend, end of last week, about the Streamview parking in the center area. Him and I disagreed with a lot of things, and basically I lost that discussion. I purposely don't see why you can't park there. I know it's a median, I get all that, but it's the size of a football field. And it's just a vacant. I told him if they don't want people to park there, they should put up no parking signs.
Thank
There's
you.
no raised medians, there's no curb. It's just a 1940 yellow line that's painted. And so I will go ahead and, if you guys would like me to, kind of argue that with parking as far as the street. I see your hand, George. And I know parking is difficult everywhere, but to me, that's just a huge area to not take advantage of. Either put no parking signs or let you park there. But I lost that battle. So if you use my name to say, I told you could park there, you're still going to get ticketed, just so you know. You have a question, George?
No, I will tell my neighbors about it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And then John and Jennifer, if you guys would do the same, and Bettina, if you would do that as well. Again, I tried to fight that and I lost. So if we'll go to Rolando Park real quick. The first set there is the crime cases you had for the previous 30 days. You had 1 vehicle car prowl. You had 1 of the aggravated assaults. If you look the little wiggets up on the upper right-hand corner, it shows what those little doohickeys are. But the aggravated assault was a domestic violence. Oddly enough, I don't think I've ever had this reported before, but one of the larceny was down, there's a laundromat, I guess, there, and someone stole a 12-year-old clothes. So I guess the mother was washing the clothes, put it in the washer, got in the car and waited, went back in, put it in the dryer, got back in the car and was waiting. She went back in and her clothes were stolen. Her son's 12-year-old clothes were stolen. And then you had 2 vandalisms. That is where it's like most likely 7-Eleven. 2 clerks, they worked together. They got in an argument over a cell phone, and one messed up the other one's vehicle. Well, they messed up each other's vehicle. So that is the vandalism. You had 2 citations for the previous 30 days, and you had 2 arrests. Both citations were down at the very bottom of college and university. I don't know why they put you that spot, Lynn. I know I gave them all the intersections along Vista Grande, Alta Vista, Aragon, and all those intersections. I don't control where traffic go to do their thing. But they got 2 people for text messaging, and then your 2 arrests that shows there. I'm sorry, if you go to the next screen, Jen. I'm sorry, thank you. So the 2 text messaging was down where the little 2 icon is, and then your 2 arrests. One was actually a 5150 hold, so it really wasn't more. It was a detention more than it was anything. And the other one was they had a felony warrant. So again, if you have any questions, please feel free to get with me directly, and I will hopefully answer any questions that you may have. If you got any now, I'll be more than happy to try to do so now. Thank you for that, Jen. Assistance.
Thank you,
Any
Terry.
questions?
Thank you. Any questions for Terry?
George, I'm really disappointed. I thought you would raise your hand. No?
Hopefully we'll get with you later. Thank you, Terry.
Okay. All right. I won't answer your call. That's probably why you won't. You know better.
I'm
Okay,
used to it, man.
Okay, Eric, go ahead, Eric. Raise your hand.
Yeah, Eric. I
I'm-
want to know how that PhD is coming.
Okay, let's go ahead and go to the next question. I'm giving chapter 5 to my chair this evening. So if he likes it, then I'll give him all of it by Tuesday. And then I'm hoping my committee will like it and I'll walk in April. If not, then I'll be another alcoholic for another semester. So we'll see. But I don't drink and drive. Well.
Thank you very much, Terry, and welcome to Rolando Park too.
I'm dead
I
excited.
drove by. Yeah, I drove by. It's a very nice house.
Well, it is until I move in. So our next project is going to be Livingston. I already told Lynn this and Jerry that we're going to practice and work on Livingston and get it up to snuff. And anyways, I won't be a deadbeat, I promise.
Okay, yeah, kind of neighbor we like to have.
You say that now you don't really know me, but okay. All right. Thank you, guys, gals.
Thanks, Terry. I'm going to loop back to Jennifer, and I apologize, Jennifer. I didn't even read my own agenda tonight. So Jennifer has some news from Redwood Village, some updates.
Oh, thank you. No worries. No worries. I just, I wanted to let you all know that an update on Streamview Drive. I spoke with Ranak Rakani today at the city, and the project, we were initially told that we would hear in March of their new plans, and the grant that they were planning to go out for, the mayor, I believe, told them it wasn't a good fit. So they're still waiting on funding. So we are delayed in moving forward with Streamview Drive. They have approved landscaping when it does happen, and they did not approve any new monument signs or public art. So that's it. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Michelle, did we have any other reps come in?
No.
Nope. Okay. Well, okay. All right. Well, that's it for tonight. So we're going to move on to loop around from last month's meeting, which was collecting ideas for priorities for this year. Last meeting, we did give updates on all of our priorities from 2020, and we collected ideas at the meeting. Members voted on it, and we left it a little open-ended this year and allowed members who voted to also write in some priorities who didn't attend. And so I'm going to talk about those first, because we did get some things that some of them I do want to respond to, and some will loop around to a future date. Okay. So everybody see that? So these are some things that people brought up at someone suggested this, and too bad, Terry, because we didn't have one for you. Yeah, it would be a wonderful idea to have a welcome committee and have someone out there helping us engage with new neighbors when they move in. But this board does not have the bandwidth right now. We're down to 5 members. We always need board members, and we need volunteers. So if the wonderful member who suggested this would like to volunteer to head up this committee, we'd really like to talk to you, okay? That was a good idea. This one, I'm responding because this is really touches on some of the problems we see here. This person suggested yeah, we do need more recreation options and places for young people in this neighborhood. The issue that we have, the area that was suggested in this recommendation happens to be in Oak Park because it's in South Choias. But I love what the post says about a need for more recreation. If you've ever driven by the 7-Eleven at Billman and College in the summertime, you realize right away we don't have enough for kids in our own community to do. So so that area there is part of Choias Lake. That's open space. And I know because I'm also on the Choias Board Advisory Group, that space is going to be developed for additional fields, and that'll be another baseball field and probably another open field for soccer. Now, there is a dog park that is part of the general development plan, but it's in phase 5. The general development plan for Choias Lake is still in phase 1, and it's 25 years old. So they are considering making a dog park a higher priority. They do have some funding, so it could happen. I will say too, Oak Park is getting a new library, and they're building it on the west end of Choias open space. I believe it's the block just before you get to 54th. And that's already funded. They're in the middle of design. And once that park is completed, the city Park and Rec Department plans to build a brand new recreation center there right next to the library. So that's much closer than any rec center that this community has now. But you still would have to be able to get there. And I don't know how many parents will let their kids walk that far to go to rec center. Oh, no, didn't think so. So we are pretty much working on trying to get some after-school sports programs started for our own kids here at our joint use park. So that's what 2 people asked about underground utilities. I have an email out to the program. I've talked to them several times over the last few years. And initially, we were supposed to, the section south of Marlow was allocated in 2017. And by this time, normally it should be in construction. It's not, it's still sitting in allocation. Now they pulled it back. So we'll have a response on that next month. Jerry, I just saw your hand. Sorry. Did you have a question?
Sorry. I'd like to make a comment on activities for youth in the neighborhood. I don't have an answer to it except to say we have this great resource in the Croc Center in the neighborhood. And if people have some ideas or would like to get together and talk about ways that maybe the Croc Center can help on this, besides their traditional people join the Croc Center and, join those activities, I'd be happy to talk to people and talk to the administration at the Croc Center to see if we could get something focused on Redwood Village and Rolando Park and how we, actually engage those kids in Croc Center activities. So I'm just putting that out there as a possible suggestion.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, let's talk after the meeting because I'd like to see Michelle. Michelle's raising her hand. She has some ideas. So let's talk after the meeting about it. Okay, thank you. Any other questions up to this point? Because I'll just move on. These are things that we're not going to be talking about tonight, but I did want people to know that we saw did see it and we want to acknowledge it. So again, we'll have an answer about underground utilities next month. Other people asked about some things like homeless encampments, crime. Those aren't in the focus of what we're talking about for community priorities. Someone did ask about all the cars in the vacant lot at Rolando and Vista Grande. That's already been cleared out. That was a code enforcement thing, and that's done. Sidewalk improvements. We do have some sidewalks on the capital improvement project list. But I think most people now know that sidewalks take about 20 years. The focus from us 2 years ago when we submitted our last list to the Eastern Area Communities Planning Group was to get the sidewalk on College finished. Right now, it's only half done, and it's been 13 years since it was first submitted to the planning group. So that should be done in a couple of years. Someone asked about paving University from 54th to 70th. That's not going to happen now until after that water project is done and the bikeway project starts. And they'll actually be responsible for repaving University. And lots of people had lots of things to say about traffic in the neighborhood. Unfortunately, we'll talk about it when we get to traffic calming a little bit more, but just want you to know we did see your comments, okay?
Jerry raised her hand again. I don't know if she had.
Jerry, is your hand still up? Did you have another
Put it
question?
back up. I didn't know if she had another comment.
Okay, I'm going to move on. Jerry? Okay. Okay, so this is a priorities in.
Lynn, I'm sorry. I do have another comment.
Okay.
About the illegal parking on Rolando. It's really good that we were able to get code enforcement to stop that being made into a parking lot. But what we need to watch out for is that auto repair place that's on Rolando. Those cars belong to them, or they were storing cars there. And what we need to watch out for is Rolando Boulevard now becoming the parking lot for cars, you know, that those people are working on, both Rolando and Vista Grande, because before they did the parking lot, they were using the streets to park.
Right, and they're back to doing that again. And I believe that back alley might be a code enforcement issue as well, because the fire truck couldn't get back there now with all the cars that are parked there. But yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Jerry. We'll talk with Terry about it after the meeting as well. Okay, so I'm just going to push on now. These are the priorities from the vote, and they're listed ranked by the number of votes. And I'm not surprised. Traffic calming has been number 1 or number 2 since 2017. And we're still waiting for some traffic calming from the city that hopefully is going to be installed this year. Everybody also wanted to see more cleanups in the community. And that's not just cleaning up University, College, but also we'd like to see sidewalks and curbs get cleaned up this year. And everyone always asks about the monument sign at College and College Grove. So we'll be talking about that. We started on a project last year to see if we could get a mural on the 94 underpass. We're sort of stuck on that. We want to see some movement on Xena Canyon. And then this last one is on Stream View, but really it's an issue about illegal dumping just about everywhere in the city because it's a really widespread problem here. So I'm going to work backwards now because we're really only going to be talking tonight. We're focused on 3 priorities. But we'll start here. And I just want to say, we recognize that there is a problem on Stream View. We also have a problem on Livingston, Xena Canyon, the Pocket Park. It's just a very widespread problem right now. And what we want to just say is you need to report it via Get It Done, or you can call the number, provide the information. If you do see someone doing it, you can file an eyewitness report with them. And they have their own code enforcement officers, I believe, that investigate this. That's all I can say. I'm sorry, folks. Xena Canyon. Terry asked us this year again to work on a collaborative project with the community. And we're asking him to work with us and Martha Zapata, our District 9 representative, to look at the issues that we see in Xena Canyon, because this is a quality of life issue. If you live around the perimeter of Xena Canyon, and you know that you always have 8 to 10 homeless encampments down there. We had the fence at the school was breached in January. Part of that is actually the school's fault because they put a storage bin up there, which is a magnet for a homeless.
Yeah.
So, but we want to look first to make sure that residents feel safe along the canyon. We're trying to get more cleanups done this year for the canyon. And our most important goal here really is to try and get the school district to be a better neighbor. They own a good part of Xena Canyon, and we'd like to see them engage with the community more on doing cleanups. Maybe we'll be able to get some services offered to the homeless and maybe reduce the population down there. Terry, you have your hand up, please.
I
Chime
do.
in.
Yeah, I'm sorry, just for the illegal dumping. You know, Streamview, that whole area has been a dumping location for years. And one of the things that I want to just kind of help disseminate the information is if residents that live around those areas, they're going to be key if we want to stop illegal dumping. I don't expect them to get out and have an altercation with anyone, but if they just take a picture from a distance where they're safe and get a license plate, I will, and give that to me. I've done this in the past where I've actually went to places where that license plate belongs to and explained to them that I've seen this been reported that they're dumping, and I show them the pictures of them dumping and the fact that we know where they're at now and that we're going to and it stopped in some areas, but it's going to have to be people taking a very possessive stance and want that area to be clean. It's not fair for someone that lives up on, you know, where maybe Hughes Street up there next to the school where Jen and John lives, and have them be responsible for the dumping area that's down on Streamview. Again, I'm not expecting anybody to get into any altercation, but if you see somebody out there that's doing it, write their plate number down, take a picture of it or something like that, and just send it to me. And I think it's helped in the past in some areas, and I think it'll at least make a difference one or two at a time. But we have to take more of a control of our own area sometimes. And I just wanted to make that talk about illegal dumping is it happens everywhere, but we're the ones who can help kind of stop that as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Appreciate that. Okay. So we're going to move on from Xena Canyon. We will, if we have an opportunity, we will pursue some art for the 94 underpass. I know that we spent several months last year trying to get a response from Caltrans, and I asked Chevelle Tate from Assemblymember Weber's office, and Chevelle has tried several times and can't get a response either. So it's not our top priority, but if something happens, if we do get a response, then yeah, we can put some time into it and try and make that happen. Okay,
What
so
are we
here's
looking at for there, Len?
Sorry?
What are we looking at when you say art? Are we talking
People
mosaic
asked it,
stuff?
well, not a mural. Have you seen the one over on maybe Buena Vista, Terry, that's the back way into Home Depot?
Yes.
And it's flowers. Originally, people asked last year about putting a welcome to Rolando Park on the mural at College, and we can't do that. You can't have any type. You can't identify your neighborhood per se. But you do have to get approval from Caltrans, and you need a local government agency to sponsor you to do it, which is why I went to Chevelle, because it's Lemon Grove and the city. We need it would either have to be the county or Aquila Weber's district to help us navigate that. So, but I'm surprised even Chevelle couldn't get an answer at this point. So if she does, we'll work on it. But if not, we're moving on. Because the other place that people would like to see some improvement is at College in College Grove. That's at the little pocket park there.
Mhm.
So before, we've talked about it on the board a little bit, and I think before we put a monument sign in, we really want to look at how we can permanently address some landscaping there, probably maybe a little bit more hardscape. And we'd like to see native trees and not dead palm trees sitting out there. So we want to look first for some funding for that. And really what we'd like to see if we can take this is what it looks like, or it did, before someone came last week and trimmed it down a little bit. We have 4 overgrown palms, some overgrown jacarandas, and a lot of volunteer weeds, plus a pile of rocks. So we just started looking a little bit at what maybe a pocket park looks like in other cities. This is actually in Mission Hills. This is a Lewis Pocket Park. And it's just, you know, it's just very simple. I'm just putting these up just as some ideas so we can generate some conversation about what we could do with that area that would be a permanent improvement and provide a more inviting entrance into our community of college, because we don't have that now. So, you know, it's sort of a triangle area. We could put some hardscape in, we can do some native trees, native shrubs. So we're just going to say that really what we want to do first before we put a monument sign or get funding to put that in is make some permanent fixes, make a more attractive entrance at the pocket park. Okay. Any questions on that? Is your hand still up, Terry, or did you have another question?
Sorry, no, I just forgot to take it down.
Any questions, comments? Okay, cool.
I like it.
Yeah, yeah, I think we all like it. Whoa. So those of us that cleaned up in December on University had a really good time. And we talked about how can we do more cleanups and keep University looking halfway decent, and not just in Rolando Park, but Redwood Village. So what we're looking at is how we can set up a schedule. And next we're going to do one again at the end of this month. But I talked with Jennifer and I'll talk with Bettina, but we're looking for some volunteers from Redwood Village and help us plan out a schedule for the year, because we'll do 4 cleanups this year on University Avenue. We're going to do 2 in Rolando Park. We'd like to do 2 in Redwood Village. So the south side of University is going to look clean. And again, maybe we can publicly shame our neighbors in Rolando Village and El Cerrito into cleaning up their side of University. But we're going to be spiffy.
Yes.
So we'll get together, we'll work out a schedule, because I think if we're doing this cleanup on University again this time, next one will be in Redwood Village, then we'll come back to University, and then we'll finish up the last one in Redwood Village. That way we've cleaned the street up for the year. And we're also going to be doing 2 cleanups in Xena Canyon. We'll be doing one in April. That's the one we do with I Love a Clean San Diego. And we're talking with Martha about possibly getting a dumpster for a fall one. And we want to try and tie some of these, if we can get dumpsters from our District 9 office, into doing community cleanups. So we'll be working on cleaning up sidewalks and curbs. We're going to be asking members to come out and, you know, clean up all the ratty weeds on your sidewalk, clean up your curbs. And we're going to be setting up some dumpsters to give everyone a chance to get rid of some unwanted stuff. So it's really just about some opportunities for everybody to clean up our neighborhood and take a little bit of pride as you drive through. Okay, questions, comments?
Put my name on it.
Put your name on it? Okay, you're on. I see your name, George. You're on.
Is there an email group for those announcements, like when that happens, or?
We're on Facebook,
Okay.
Nextdoor, and I have an email list if you'd like to join our email
Yeah,
list.
that'd be great.
Okay, and it's also always on our website too.
Okay.
But if you join our email list, you always we harass you about it a little bit.
You don't harass that often. It's not
That's
that many here, but
That's the-
once a month, Lynn, it's fine.
Yeah,
It's not.
Okay. Not daily, not weekly. Terry, are you waving your hand or? Oh, you're mute. So,
Just a little stuffy in here, that's all.
okay,
Matt.
okay. So we're back now to what is our number one priority. Last month, we did say that we have some speed display signs that'll be going up on Rolando Boulevard, Vista Grande, and Aragon. I talked with Jennifer last week for a few days because we want to make sure that traffic engineering, this is not specific to any community. We're seeing the same issues in Redwood Village, same issues in Oak Park. And it's really like the older urban area of San Diego doesn't get any level of traffic calming that is helping the older communities. So I don't know where we're going from here. We did studies 7 years ago. This is what we got out of it, were the speed display signs, which aren't installed yet. So we want to see if we can put together maybe a list, and we could talk about that here right now. Streets and the intersections, and let's see if we can get new studies, or at least we can start a discussion with our District 9 representative about what other options are here. I know that I read somewhere that the mayor's maybe thinking about bringing back some slow street programs, and I tried to get Rolando Park on that 2 years ago, and didn't happen. But they actually closed down half the street to make it pedestrian friendly.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
I know, can I make a comment?
Yes.
I know I've brought this up before. I think that there's very few streets that have the divider painted in the middle, yellow stripes that you don't have, so you do pass on one side. And because they don't have that, I think people just feel like they can just drive like crazy because there's no order, there's no conscious path of where they're supposed to go. And I don't understand why these residential streets that are proven to have a lot of cars go through them don't have these lines painted.
Yeah.
Do we know why? Can we get that? That's
Well, let's make a list of what streets those are. Can you email that to us, or we'll talk about it? I know one mistake I think that the traffic engineering made. She convinced us to put in edge lines, which for parking on Aragon on one block. And there's certain areas probably where edge lines aren't a good idea, because at night it just looks like an invite me to every speeder. It looks like you've got an airplane landing strip just to speed all the way down the street. Yeah, I see your chat. Chris, I see first of all, I can't see the chat and talk at the same time. I can only multitask a little bit tonight. I will say that intersection is dangerous, yes. And part of that will actually be fixed in the University Bikeway project. I just went back and looked at that. They're putting in 15 enhanced crosswalks between 54th and 69th Street. Some of those will have the Hawks, the enhanced flashing lights. If they don't have that, they're supposed to have medians in the middle so that a pedestrian can walk halfway, stop, wait for the traffic, and then cross to the other side. So for us, we're going to see College, Benil, Cartagena, Rolando, Aragon, and 69th. That's for us. I can't, Jennifer, I can't remember, but all the way from 54th. And there are also 15 bus islands on both sides of north and south of University as well. So, and for those who don't know, from College to 69th is going to have a road diet, and it's going from 4 lanes down to 2 lanes, one each way, to make way for a dedicated bike lane on each side. That alone is going to stop some of the speeding on University, because it's not going to be much fun to be behind me when I go 20 miles an hour. No, it will just slow down, and the number of crosswalks that are going to be in should make it more pedestrian friendly. Where else? College and University. Speak up, please. I can't see it. If it's in the chat, I won't see it till after the meeting. So if you want to raise your hand or just speak up.
I'll
Let's
read it
talk
to you.
about
Someone
some
shoot through chat and then I can read it, but I don't have
Okay.
it right now.
Xena,
Hmm?
Xena Drive.
Xena Drive, we had it, I'm trying to remember, we did have a study done there about 6 or 7 years ago.
Oh.
I see speeding there every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, every day. Where else?
Has anything ever come up about the intersection of a college and Billman by the 7-Eleven? We have the frontage road.
Yeah,
Have you guys ever received complaints or any text that's been?
we did it. We had a traffic study done there 2 years ago, right on Billman. Because some residents asked for a stop sign and it didn't qualify for any traffic action. Yeah, and the speeds. We do see speeding. We just don't see enough speeding that we can get traffic engineering to do anything. It's very frustrating, but no one should think that we don't see speeding because we do. It just might not be 85% of the people that are speeding. So I want to say one area that I saw, because I saw this posted on social media a couple of weeks ago, was actually about the entrance into Rolando Park Elementary. And that's at Vista Grande and Marlowe. And I will say that some of the worst speeders at 7 o'clock in the morning are parents taking their kids to school there. I walk my dog over there frequently. I see parents driving 35 to almost 40 miles an hour down Vista Grande and then run the stop sign to pull in the park. So,
Happens in the afternoon at pickup as well.
yeah,
So you
same
know,
thing.
I'm there
So,
every day, I know.
yeah, I asked our traffic engineer about if we could get a reevaluation of that center stop sign to see if there was anything else we could do. And she said, no, that was the end of that. But she did suggest, as Michelle suggested, Michelle Alexander's the president of the PTA, we would like to talk about the possibility of maybe getting some volunteer student crossing guards in the morning and afternoon. And so we'll talk to Principal DeLuca about that and possibly you, Terry. I think from the studies that I've looked at, parents speed a lot less when it's potential their kids out there being the crossing guards. So just a thought.
And it's just a visual. If you see someone who's out there stopping it slows down the traffic.
Exactly.
You know,
Kids. So where else? We will see a little bit of a drop, I think, once the display signs are in. I don't know how effective they're going to be, but we will. They're on both sides of Vista Grande. They're headed north in the 3800 block and south in the 3900 block, so that they meet right at the intersection there.
the fact that we have a park now at Rolando Park Elementary, does that help at all with that traffic thing and getting better?
No.
No, they didn't, there's extra traffic on the weekends with the soccer and all this other stuff. too.
Once the soccer teams come back, we're going to see more speeding.
Yeah, like, cause they speed a lot. I know I've heard a lot of complaints about that.
Yeah, because it turns out that next to the school parents, soccer parents are the next offenders of speeding in a neighborhood and running stop signs. So, we're open here, folks. I really don't know what else we can do. At this point, we're sort of stymied by traffic engineering, who keeps telling us that many of our streets do not qualify for any traffic calming. Every street that we've asked them about for speed bumps, we're told they don't qualify. Yeah, we see speeding, we see a lot of stop sign running, but it's just sort of stuck. So anyway, we're open to any questions about any streets, and we'll see if we can pursue getting a new traffic study done on those streets if it's been a few years. And then we can take it up with our District 9 representative as well, to talk to them about it. So if you don't want to speak up here, you can stay after the meeting tonight, or you can drop it in the chat, and I'll look at the chat after the meeting ends, and we'll go from there.
You can always email us too on our.
Yeah, and we can email. That's right. So if you have any other thoughts about it, don't be afraid. Don't be shy. Speak up.
Judy has her hand up. Judy, unmute.
Judy? I can't see your hand from here.
Am I unmuted now?
Yes, you are, Judy.
Oh, well, I was just going to tell you that my daughter's school is above the stadium, whatever that neighborhood's called. And they actually they had the same problem with speeding parents.
Mhm.
And they put speed bumps in the parking lot just this past year. It works
Yeah.
great.
We have speed bumps in the parking lot though. At
We
Rolando
do?
Park. Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Oh.
put them in when they built the park. So,
Oh, all right, never mind.
okay, sorry, yeah.
It's the intersection before you even get to the parking lot.
I never noticed.
I always walk, so that's good. Yeah. So anyway, folks, we'll continue to look at this one. I just don't know where we're gonna go, but we'll see what we can do. And Jennifer, I know you have a street over there. I think that you had a traffic study done that showed that you could also warranted at least a radar display sign, speed sign. But you know, you have to decide. The community has to decide if you want to do it, right?
Right, and the city said there's no funding for it.
But yeah, there never is any funding for it.
Anyway.
But
So we don't want a flashing sign.
okay. And Streamview, when that funding comes through, should take care of the issues on Streamview once all the roundabouts are finished, right? That is a total of 8. There'll be 8 roundabouts there, is that right?
I think there were seven,
Seven.
maybe 8, and the speed bumps were vetoed by transportation.
Of course.
So no speed bumps on Streamview due to the need for emergency vehicles coming through. And yeah, that's where we're at right now.
Okay, yeah, I think we're all in the same place, so.
Speaking of the roundabouts on Streamview, whatever happened with the push for redoing the ones that are already there to put some type of centerpieces in there so they're not just so flat? Whatever happened with that, Jennifer?
Okay, yes, thanks, Officer Terry. I talked to Renak today about that, and that's considered phase 1. And phase 1 has been completed in quotation marks. And I won't go there. They're looking at sanding things down, or I don't know. They basically they don't have any answer for that.
They said they're not responsible for anything that happens because the engineers that did the company that did the engineering was responsible for any improper design, but
Defects.
too many months or years have elapsed since that happened. So the company is no longer liable, and the city says they're not liable. So things will stay as they are now.
So I brought up the option of in phase 2, you know, readdressing those concerns with hardscaping, tree planting in the traffic circles. So that's open to a possibility. And they called it a visual impact. So a visual impact, meaning that when someone's driving down the street, it's not an invisible traffic circle, but there's a tree or there's boulders or there's something there to, you know, get the driver's attention that the roundabout is happening. So yeah, that's a really good question. Thank you, Officer Terry. So phase 2. Phase 1 is done, I guess. Yeah.
And there's no changing it.
Well, for next meeting, then let's try and put together a list of what we think are the most critical intersections and streets that we should try and get an evaluation done on again. Excuse me. And we'll go from there. I just want to close tonight on somewhat of a positive note, because sometimes I think we forget that we've done some cool projects in Rolando Park. And at the end of 2015, Rolando Park Community Council installed the first little free library, and it's still there. It's on Loma Alta. So, excuse me. I just like to remind people about some good things because we now have 5 little free libraries and a little art gallery in Rolando Park. And all that's happened in the last 7 years. So I'm going to put this up on our website with a few photos so that you can identify them. But it's really cute. There's a very cute little art gallery with little miniature arts on Veronica, and there's a little free library right across the street. We've talked, we would love to see some libraries maybe over in the Billman area, Jeff Street area. We just need to find someone who'd be willing to sponsor it, and we can help you get set up on that. But very cool that our community has 5 little libraries right now. Okay. Yes, thank you, Chris. They are. And so that's all that I have tonight.
Lynn, if I may jump in real quick before everyone takes off. You know, you talked about everyone, you know, finishing on a positive note. Everyone that participates in these Zoom meetings or in-person meetings, what you do is invaluable. It's easy to get wrapped up sometimes in all the things that we want to do and would like to do and can't do. And if we walk away going, you know, woe is me because we can't do anything. But just the fact that you're here, you're trying to do stuff and you're trying to make your community better, that in itself is such an accomplishment. And you should all walk away with feeling good about yourself because you're doing what a good person should do for their civic duties. So, you know, be proud of what you're doing. Never think, you know, low of yourself for not accomplishing something. Just the fact that you're here and you're making the push, that's all that matters in the big scheme of things. It'll work itself out. It'll work itself out in the long run.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you, Terry. Take it to heart. All right. I think that's it for tonight, unless people want to hang around and talk about street traffic. I'm happy to stay online for a few minutes. Next month, we have a representative from I Love a Clean San Diego coming, and we'll have a little bit more information about some of the capital improvement projects coming to a street near you really soon. Okay. All right. Thanks, everyone. Good meeting tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you. I'm going to hang around.